a high-rise suite inspection, or a suite inspection in any building, but especially the high-rise, the higher you get off the ground, the more heightened your senses should be and your gaze should be on making sure those employees in that suite are safe. One of the things I like to use is the evacuation map, because that is designated by the building, approved by the authorities having jurisdiction, and everybody knows where it's at, including the fire department, because there will be some things the fire department is going to have mandates on that we're going to look at. But one of the things I like to look at first and foremost when I get off the elevator in this suite and I see this map is I see its orientation. It tells me where I'm at and then shows me my main fire doors. Those fire doors are the two doors that separate right here in the middle of our elevator bank. And so those are designated by these swoops and these doors, and they're right here. Then I have my two stairway exits, and we're going to take a real good look at those in a moment. And so I've got one located here, and I've got one located here. Now, looking at the map, we've got a lot of other things, including all of these various offices. They're designated by the build-outs of these. The small squares that we have on this map are indicating where the structural elements of the building are. So they're not really part of what we're looking at, but they're good to kind of declinate yourself so you know where you're at. But what we want to be paying attention to now is, as we go through this suite, is every element of the building properly signed. The signs that we're looking for more than anything else are those exit signs, and they should be pointing us towards where we need to go. And where we don't need to go, the elevators. It says right here, in case of emergency, use stairs, don't use elevators. So these elevators are not part of our fire exit plan. Ours is going through the stairs. So we're going to go through the suite now, and we're going to be paying attention to, all the while heading towards the stairs, do our signs point us to where we need to go? Or are they going to point us to a dead end in a spot where maybe the employees won't know how to leave or won't know how to access out of the building safely? This map is so important for you in your process, because this is really showing you what's in the building and where you're going to focus moving forward. Because we know that we need two ways out of every building. We've got a stairwell here and a stairwell here, depending on which one is easy to get to. Maybe one has been blocked off by something else. And so using a map like this as an inspector will help you stay on focus, stay on track, and also help you with your inventory and know where things are at. We're going to take the map and follow that red line out of this elevator room. Well, if we walked out of the map, we could go right or left. If I go to the right, I see an exit. The sign is clearly marked. It's telling me if I go through that door, I find the next exit sign and I know where I'm heading. But if I go through the other bank of doors, we're missing our sign. So first, where the map said I can go right or left, I can't go left because there's no sign to tell me I can go left. So that right there would be something that you'd write up. Remember, you're not an authority having jurisdiction. You're just the building inspector walking through, letting people know what you see. This would be a sign I know where I'm going. The other side is missing its sign. It's not telling me that's the way I need to go. Moving through the building on our path in the exit access towards our exit, we'd pass through these doors. In fact, these doors play a specific purpose in this building. They're fire doors. Now, the fire door inspection is not part of the standard commercial property inspection, but it is covered in the ComSOP under section 17. But in the normal course of your inspection, you can look at the fire door, you can offer that as a service you could provide to your clients. But while walking through these fire doors, I wanted to take a couple of elemental items of inventory that I think are important to note. First, this is a dual leaf door. dual leaf being both sides open and closed. Now, when there's fire doors, they can be always open or always closed fire doors. And if they're an always open fire door, there'll have to be some form of automatic mechanical release that is attached to the fire alarm system. So when the fire alarm goes off, it instantly releases the door and the door closes. And what that is actually a magnetic catch on the top of a door and a magnetic release point on the adjacent wall. So when the door is all the way open, the two magnetic pieces hold together and can be easily released. But our challenge is when I have a door like that is an always open door, any hold open devices like door chocks would be a failure because that would not release the door. A great example of a door chock is a simple wedge on the bottom of a door. The other reason why I know I have fire doors is I've got labels. These labels should be on the door slabs or door jambs of both sets of doors. So those are a couple of key elements you're going to want to look at as you're passing through these doors on our way to figuring out the exit plan or exit path through this inspection. As part of your inspection and you're passing through one area to another area, we've passed through these sets of double doors. These double doors play a specific purpose in this building, in this suite itself, is they're actually fire doors. Now, fire doors are not a standard element to a commercial property inspection, but they are in the ComSOP. They're in section 17 of the ComSOP, which is an entire standard for inspecting fire doors. A couple of the things, though, you can look at, or maybe should look at, as you're passing through and have some form of background knowledge on fire doors is the fact you understand that there's two types of fire doors that we might have in this situation. Now, these are called dual leaf fire doors because there's two panels or two leaves of doors that close together. Now, within this door plan, we can have always open or always closed fire doors. These are always open fire doors. And a key element to an always open fire door is it's able to be released in the event of a fire. That release happens from two mechanisms holding together. That is a magnet. And that magnet is located at the top of the door and on the top of the wall. And when those two magnets meet, they hold the door open. And as soon as we release that magnet, the doors automatically close. And they close very quickly because we want to compartmentalize that fire. One of the first failures you could ever have in an auto or always open fire door scenario is a hold open device. A simple wedge or hook or something that is holding that door open. So that release of the magnet will never release the door. So that is something you can identify even if you're not doing a fire door inspection. That could be a material issue for the employee's safety of evacuating out of the space. Then there's some other things real quick that we want to look at when we look at fire doors, and one would be the label. There should be a label on either the door slab or the door jamb, and then looking for any physical damage that might be on the door. But this is just one more element of our inspection as we're creating our path for our people, our employees, our clients to be able to evacuate out of this space.